We are gathered here to fill you with fear and give you a treat for your ears as we invade your mind with our scary rhymes and some tales that can be gory. As you bear witness and sit here and listen to our poetic horror stories. There were 10 little monkeys, and they were all friends, but they all met weird and bizarre deaths. This is their story of how they all met their ends. The first little monkey thought he was really cool. He would never follow any of the rules. He would cause trouble wherever he could. He was always up to no good. One day he came up missing, but later he was found. They found him at the bottom of the lake. He had drowned. They deemed this an accident, but I knew this wasn't true. He was a very good swimmer. He used to be the captain of our school senior swimming crew. The second little monkey loved to play pranks. This was just his thing. He had a prank channel on YouTube of videos of him tricking and scaring people. Some of his pranks were cruel, mean, and evil. He also came up missing too, but they never found his body. Only a video of his doom. The video was found on the dark web. It showed him being strangled. Nobody believed it was real. But his fans on YouTube thought this was his best prank yet. The third little monkey was an adrenaline junkie. He loved living on the edge. His motto was, "It's not worth doing if there's no chance of death." Truer words have never been said. True to his motto, he took a chance and he ended up dead. He was dared to play a game of Russian roulette. One bullet, one gun. He pulled the trigger. Pow! And he was done. The fourth little monkey was very smart and methodical. He thought everything through. He did his best to be careful. He wasn't a risk taker. He wasn't a prankster. Hell, he wasn't even a rule breaker. But he was very accident prone. And one day, he tripped and fell down the stairs in his home, where he lived alone. His neck is what broke his fall, where he lay paralyzed for days. When he was found, it was too late, because he had already passed away. Unfortunately, when he was found, he was dehydrated and had starved to death. The fifth little monkey was playing with his kids. They were horsing around, playing and jumping on the bed. He jumped too high and hit his head. He cracked his skull, which made his brain bleed and swell. They rushed him to the hospital to try and save his life. They performed emergency surgery, but they couldn't save him. He died under the knife. This is just a friendly reminder to please like and comment to let us know how we are doing so far. We would love to hear from you all. And if you're new, please subscribe and become a part of the PHS crew. And we thank you. The sixth little monkey loved to party and did a lot of drugs. He didn't care if it was powder, pills, injected, or smoked. He just couldn't get enough. He parties all day and all night. All he did was club. Until one night, he was so high, he couldn't tell down from up. He stumbled out searching for his ride into the street after he left the club. But he was so stoned and fucked up. He was run over by a bus. He was squished like a bug. The seventh little monkey was a hothead. He had a terrible temper on him. He was always starting fights. He thought he was really tough because he was a really big and strong guy. He was always angry and mad at the world. He felt he had something to prove. That is, until he met his match. He ran into the wrong dude. They fought over a girl, of course, but he quickly fucked around and found out that the other guy was light on his feet, and he was fast. It was like the guy had lead in his hands. The guy whooped his ass. The guy beat him unmercifully. He beat him until he was black and blue. Unfortunately, he died on his way to the hospital. The eighth little monkey called himself a businessman, but what he really turned out to be was a scam artist. He would go around fleecing old people out of their retirement checks. He would convince them he could double their money if they would invest. But he never invested their money. No, he would spend it so he could live a life of luxury. He would buy houses, cars, and take expensive trips to overseas countries. He ended up on one of the top FBI crimes watch lists. He was a wanted man. But he keeps on running his scams. He didn't really care. That is, till one day he was found stuffed in a drum, with 2 bullet holes in the back of his skull. The ninth little monkey likes to play the odds. He was a major gambler. He would bet on anything. He even gambled and lost his wedding ring. He had a very bad gambling addiction, but he didn't see it that way. He just knew one day he would win big. And he was right. He did. He won $1 million playing poker in a tournament. But his good fortune ran out the very next day, when some cracked-out young man robbed him and stabbed him in his chest. The knife hit a main artery, and he quickly bled to death in the back of a casino alleyway where he gambled his life away. The final and 10th little monkey, he turned out to be a killer. He was placed on trial for his wife's murder, but he wasn't worried about it because he had money. And he knew his money would take care of this predicament he found himself in. He was accused of killing his wife with poison. He wanted to take over her company, and his attorney was trying to get him off on a technicality. You should have seen him. He was cocky, brash, and bold. Not even once while he was on trial did he ever show any remorse. He was even overheard saying he was glad the battle axe was dead, because he felt like she was going to nag him to death. You see, the money he spent wasn't his own. No. His wife's family had money. It was the only reason he married her. And he believed once he was acquitted, then the company and money was going to be his. But his wife was smart, and before she died, she cut him out of her will. But he didn't know this. The jury found him guilty, and because of the state he lived in, they sentenced him to death. Now he has been sitting on death row for about 10 years, and he has exhausted all of his appeals. So tomorrow is his execution date. The electric chair awaits. They brought it out just for him, so he could meet his grisly end.